And also let's I want to clean up some of your file thing you have here. So
You want me to X out a few?
let's go to just a second. So close this. You see on the left side there where you have your project thing. So you have like the editor. Yeah, open that. But close this. So select your file at the top. So you should see a file at the top of your Visual Studio Code. It's probably hidden now, but if you move your mouse all the way to the top of your screen, there you go. Then select file and select close folder. Okay. So now let's reopen your project folder. Okay. So you say where it has the open editor, you can kind of minimize that because that gets a little bit confused. Click that again. Then yeah, kind of minimize that. So okay, we can only see your projects. All right. So now you are trying to make your shell script executable, right? So close your terminal, the one you have open here, close it. Then maybe in order to make your shell script executable, your terminal has to be open to the directory where the file you are trying to make executable is.
Yeah, I did that. I went into the rent zone file and then I ran that
Okay.
command.
So let's do that now. So right in your Visual Studio Code, do it from Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
In your Visual Studio Code, right click on your build image.sh file and select open in integrated terminal. Yes.
Okay.
Then now you can see that your terminal opened that into that rent zone directory. That's why you can see rent zone there. Now you can run your chmod plus X and the name of the file.
It's ch plus X.
Chmod plus X and the name of the file.
Build.
So when you start to type the file name, press the tab key on your keyboard. So type part, there you go. So if you can find this is also a good way to check. So let's say you are trying to access a file or modify a file. A good way to verify that you are actually in the same directory. We know we are in that directory, but a good practice is when you type parts of the file name, press the tab key. If the file is there, it will auto-complete it for you. So that way you know the file you are trying to modify is actually in the same directory you are in.
Okay.
So now press Cool. So that's done. Then the next thing you are trying to do is build your image, right? So now the same practice also applies. Just a second.
No problem.
Yes, the same practice also applies to build your image. You are going to use the same thing. You are going to type dot period / right? So when this is probably where the confusion is. And when I'm updating the course, I would account for that. So I believe on Windows, when you are executing your shell script, it is a /. But on Mac, when you are executing your shell script, it is a /.
So it should be this one? Okay.
Then type the name of your build image. No space.
Oh, so,
no. And press enter. So I will write it, press back a little bit. Delete some of part of the name. Use that same method I mentioned where it auto completes it for you. Because sometimes even if you, and press the tab key, like You see, let's try something. Press backspace all the way to your forward slash. Delete the forward slash and use the backslash. Use the backslash that the one you have before, not the forward slash. I want to test something. Then type the name of your like build or something. Type build the name of the script. Then press the tab key.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Okay. Oh, I know on Windows it does, but on Mac, I guess it doesn't. Okay. So you would have to use the forward slash. And because I know on Windows, even if you use the wrong slash, it would fix it for you when you press the tab key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now press enter. Okay. It is running. I'll just give it some time. Okay, cool. It is now building your image.
Yeah, so the problem that I had was watching your course. I guess you do everything on Windows, so it's a little bit different on Mac.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
So I am updating the course now. And in the updated version, anything I do, there will be a Mac equivalent on how to do it. So just to eliminate anywhere where there's that issue.
okay, see the same error came again, failed to solve.
Okay.
Yeah, install.
So go up, scroll up. Let's see what the error is. I think I know where this error is coming from. Scroll up to where the error is. So we can say, okay, stop right there. Oh, it's on your MySQL server. Okay, cool. I know how to fix this. So in your Docker file, let's scroll down to where we have the command to install MySQL. So that will be up. After we install the PHP. So right here. So what happens is on line 39,
Mm-hmm.
that GPG key
Mm-hmm.
always every year it always change.
Okay.
So I believe since we created this Docker file last year, and that's 2022, I had the same issue last week when I was running this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's change that 2022 to 2023. Yeah. And save your Docker file
Okay.
and run your Docker image again. There you go. Okay. You can see now it is running that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And
had,
also, go ahead.
sorry, continue.
I was going to mention that also, if you look in our DevOps channel on
Mm-hmm.
Slack, someone also put another solution there on how to get past this. So I think what he did is instead of requiring that GPG key, he had a flag to his command not to require that key. So I guess
Mm,
that's like some type of encryption key that is also needed to download the MySQL software, but you can bypass it if you want. And
okay.
so if you're looking at Slack channel, and I can send you the link.
Yes.
So he also he has the updated Docker file he created where he had a command of bypassing it. So if every year you don't want to have to, when you try to build your image again, you would have to update your line 39 so you can bypass that key and everything should still work. Yeah. So what was your question?
Okay, so I had also done a project that you had posted on YouTube a while ago,
Mhm.
but I ran the whole thing and then I had like one error at the end that I could not figure out.
Okay.
Um, I think it was the application code file. I'll find it after. We'll see if this runs.
Okay, sure.
But Yeah, no, I had copied what you had done on YouTube. You had put up a project on YouTube. I think it was like an hour and 20 minutes long.
Hmm.
Um, I had just wanted to try it just to see.
Yeah, sure. I can help you troubleshoot that as well once we get past this one.
Yeah. Does it usually take this long for?
Yes, so it does. So you can see up there where it says building and it is showing you the amount of time it is taking to build.
Mhm.
So it's the right now it's like on 144 seconds. So the permissions, so this the one that is running now, command number 18 is running, which is your chmod 777, which
Yeah.
is pretty much changing the permissions of the files in your HTML directory. Because if there are a lot of files in there, it has to run through to change the permissions. Yes, that part usually takes longer.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So now it is done building your image. It is just exporting the layers and it should be completed shortly.
How long have you been a cloud engineer now?
About 7 years, 7, 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had joined another boot camp,
Mhm.
but it was more expensive actually, and it wasn't as thorough and helpful as the one you have.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I, to be honest, I went through the same thing you guys are going through now. And
Hmm.
even when I started, I didn't have any help. I just had to like dissect whatever I can find online to pretty much complete the projects. So I understand what it takes to go from having zero knowledge and the type of projects you need to complete and the type of tools you need to work with to have like a good solid foundational knowledge to work as a cloud or DevOps engineer. So those are the things I try to put in the boot camp. So rather than wasting too much time on things that are not necessary,
Hmm.
there are sets of skills and tools that you need to understand how to use to work as a cloud engineer on a day-to-day basis. And those tools are usually centered around Terraform, Ansible, Docker, CI/CD, and those are the things that I put in the boot camp and try to make sure you guys are efficient in using that tool. At least you should be comfortable using those tools. I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like you know what you are doing, you know.
Yeah,
So
I have like a good understanding of everything. It's just like I'll get stuck on something, and just because I don't have like too much experience, like I only started doing like work with cloud engineering in AWS probably in October.
okay.
So everything is brand new to me. So, but like I can understand most of it. It's just when I
Mhm.
get stuck, I'm just like, I'm always looking, I'm like, what can I do? Like I try to solve it on my own before I reach out to you, but I don't want to waste too much time troubleshooting it myself if it keeps coming up wrong rather
As
than reach out to you.
exactly. And that is, I agree with George, what you said. And that's what I'm here for. So once you start working on the projects, when you run into an issue, I want you to take some time,
Hmm.
maybe about 30 minutes, try to see if you can resolve it. Try to say, okay, think about why am I getting this error and how can I possibly, what methods do I have to resolve it? For me, when I get an error, I usually, my alternatives are, if it is something I can rely on my experience, I go that route. If not, I go to Google or better yet, ChatGPT. And if you can't resolve it within a reasonable amount of time, I'll say maybe about 30 minutes, maximum an hour, then that's what I'm here for. Because then when I help you troubleshoot or other people on your team help you troubleshoot, you can resolve it much faster. So yes, you are definitely doing the right thing. And I'll tell you, troubleshooting is a normal thing.
Of
It
course.
is. Even when you start working as a cloud engineer, you will continue to run into issues where you will have to rely on your knowledge and your teammates' knowledge to help you get through it. So
Also, one thing I was going to include, I follow your YouTube page and I subscribe to it. I also liked how you did a YouTube post. I think you're on a live with some people about how you can put the description of what you need on ChatGPT, and then it can go into GitHub so that it looks much neater, so that you can present it to employers.
Oh,
That
yes.
was something that the last boot camp I was in, it didn't do,
Okay.
and I felt like that's really good that you do that because that's a big thing. Like we can do all these projects and stuff, but if we don't know how to properly present it to
Mhm.
the employer, like we're probably not going to get looked at.
Exactly. Exactly. So those are all the things that can give you all the small wins you need
Hmm.
when you are a prospect for a position. So because sometimes your employer do go check out all the links you have on your resume.
Hmm.
So if your employer happens to click on your link to check out what is in your GitHub repository, at least you want to make sure that you are doing the right thing on your end, which is making sure that your GitHub repository is organized and it looks professional. At
Yeah.
least when they look at it, they can real quick because they won't have a lot of time to go through all the files you have in there. But if your README file is well put together, they can look at it and get a good understanding of what you did in that project and how you did it. So that was one of the reasons why I did that project. So thank you for your feedback. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that said that that was very helpful. So
That was. I
thank you
noticed
for,
that that's actually what made me, because I was in the previous boot camp, and then I had done the first two projects that you have in your library. I had done them already, so I skipped to this one because I was like, I need to learn Docker, I need to learn better Terraform, etc. And
yeah,
then I saw you put a YouTube post about that, and that's actually initially what made me jump into your boot camp and go through with it because I was like, listen, if you offer this kind of stuff, you'll definitely be very helpful.
yeah.
And the only other question I really had was if you don't have experience as a cloud engineer,
Mhm.
how would you post that on your resume? Like, would you do that by going through the projects? Like, how would you go through with that?
That's a good question, and that's something I'm still trying to find the best way to answer it. So my thing is you can find someone to what I did when I was starting out is once I because essentially when you have the skills is the skills. It doesn't really matter if you did it at a job or if you did it on a project, right? If you know how to write your Docker image and build your Docker image, the same process for the project is the same thing you'll use at work.
Yes.
So um, I'm still kind of like struggling with the best way to put it on your resume. So the alternatives you have is you can use a recruiter that can better tell you the best way to showcase your project on your resume if you want to go that route. Or an additional thing I did is when I was starting out, I had a friend that needed help with his website and wanted to host his website in AWS. He had a small business
Hmm.
and he wanted to host his website in AWS. So I helped him manage his website using these skill sets. So
That's
that
a,
was how I listed it on my resume.
that's a smart idea.
Yeah. So
Uh,
if you have a potential for someone that has a small business that you can use your knowledge to assist them in managing their site,
mhm.
then that is a good way to list the skill sets on your resume.
Okay. So it seems as if everything went well. It seems that
Mhm.
it worked. I wanted to. I'm gonna X out of this real quick because this.
Yeah, yes, this is fine. Yeah, your image is ready. All you have to do is just come back to this directory once you are ready to retag it and push it to ECR.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'll do that. I just wanted to.
Yeah, show me the other one that you said you're having the issue with.
Um, Let me quit this real quick, and then I'm gonna open it again.
So Visual Studio Code tend to would open the same folder you had. So you have to close the folder. So remember how we did the file up there?
Yeah.
Then you select close folder and that will close is at the bottom, and that will close that project for you.
Okay. So I think it was the Terraform 3-tier project that I was stuck
Okay,
on that I
perfect.
found.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
help you
this is
with
the
this.
one.
Okay.
This is the one that I did off your YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember actually now. So when I would run this,
Mm-hmm.
it would say that there was an issue with like the give me
Yeah,
once.
let's run it and we'll see what the error says. So I see you are trying to create your VPC, right?
Yes.
So it matters where, remember what I was explaining? It matters where you open your directory,
Hmm.
especially when you are opening the terminal, right? It
Hmm.
matters where you open the terminal to. Here, so you see where it has the open editor. Can you click the X on the main.tf file? So in your directories you have on the left. So yeah, click that X. Let's close that. Okay, cool.
X this out.
So yes, X that one out too. So I see you have your so a better way to open this is let's close the folder. No, it's fine. What you have is fine because we
Okay.
have two directories in there. That's fine.
Hmm.
Okay. So you see your Jupyter website ECS,
Hmm.
that is the project, right?
Hmm.
And the modules is where you are storing the modules for the resources you are trying to create.
Hmm.
So in order to create your project, you need to open your terminal in the project.
So under Jupyter.
Yeah, so yes, under Jupyter, select any file that is in that directory and select, that's how you open it in the terminal, or you can open that too. So that should do it. Well, my practice is I usually just select any file in that folder
Okay.
and right click and say open integrated terminal. So that way to make sure that I am in the right directory.
Is this fine or should I do that?
This is fine because you can see, you see where your terminal is there. You are in the Jupyter website ECS directory currently. Do you see where I'm
Yes.
pointing? Yeah. Okay. So, so that's the main thing you want to make sure that you are in that directory.
I
Okay.
think I had done Terraform init and then Terraform apply, and it went through basically everything, and then it gave me an error. So should I do Terraform init first?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. It is creating your resources now.
Hmm. Yeah, I had done all this and then I got stuck and I was like, you know what? It just
Okay.
that see this is what this is
Cool.
what popping
All
up.
right. Cool. So when you run into Terraform error issue, they are one of my favorite things to troubleshoot because one of the things I love about Terraform is that Terraform um, gives you a good idea of where to look for that issue.
Yes.
So Terraform, and this is how you will learn. So when you are working through your Terraform project, the more mistake you can make that gives you errors like this, the better it would help you understand how to troubleshoot Terraform. So let's just look at it. So it says it is creating your subnet, right?
Yes.
On that line where it says error, it is creating your subnet. So it says invalid subnet conflict. So the CIDR block 10.0.6.0/24 conflicts with another subnet.
Yeah.
So what that is telling you is that you have two subnets that are using the same CIDR block, which in AWS you can't have. So you probably have a typo somewhere in your subnet creation where you are using the same CIDR block for two subnets. So
I
here, So you would have to go in your VPC module, yes, main.tf, right? First, let's look at your subnet. So let's go to where you are creating your subnets. Yeah, so yeah, in that main.tf in your VPC, scroll down. Okay. So particularly here, it is complaining about your private app subnet AZ2. So let's look at where you are creating your private app subnet. So here, so private app subnet AZ2 side up. So data availability zone 1. So you see where you have your first thing we want to check is on line 89, right?
Okay.
That is where you are creating the side-up block of your private app subnet AZ2. And for that, you are using a variable. So now let's go in your variables file, right? That we don't put any value in there, but in the tf-vars file in your project, that is where we specify the values of that variable.
So here, under the modules VPC?
Right, yes, right, select the variable. Right, so we have the variable here, private app subnet AZ2, but the actual value is specified in your project, in your Jupyter website project. So now go to your Jupyter website project and select your tf-vars file, because that is where you have the value.
You said tf-vars, right?
Terraform.tf-vars file. Okay, right. So here you can see for your VPC CIDR, for your CIDR block, right? You can see for on line 5, that's where the issue is.
Yeah, I think
your public subnet AZ2, you gave it the same CIDR block as.
I think I had changed it because every I think I had put the 1 and it still kept coming up as an issue.
Okay, so change that to that should be 1 for the one. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save it.
Yes, it's saved.
Okay, then run your Terraform apply again. So if it comes up, then the issue would probably be like you have a typo somewhere. So sometimes typo would do the same thing. So, but this is something we can resolve. Okay, so now you can see it's invalid CIDR block. This now it is complaining about your public subnet AZ2. So public subnet AZ2 CIDR. So this, at least the way I'm just reviewing your CIDR blocks. Yeah. The way you have your variables, those are right. So basically you have a typo somewhere. And now we can troubleshoot this is let's look at your main.tf in your Jupyter project. All right. So here you have your public subnet AZ1 CIDR, public subnet AZ2 CIDR, app, private app subnet AZ1 CIDR. So you see where the typo is on line 16. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you usually get that issue, if you verify the values, right? If the values are right, the next thing is to verify whether you have a typo somewhere where you are referencing the wrong thing. So it should be var private. For your naming convention, it is var private app subnet AZ2 CIDR. Okay. So after the underscore, yeah, there you go. There you go. Save it and run your apply, and you should be good. Okay. So now it is saying, so this issue sometimes happens where this is probably like a Terraform issue where let's just make sure that all your naming convention is right, which it looks right. Sometimes the issue with Terraform module is Sometimes when it downloads the module, it would reuse it again as opposed to re-downloading it when you fix something.
Mhm.
So let's delete your .terraform folder in that Jupyter ECS.
This one?
Delete it.
Move to trash.
Yeah, move to trash. Then delete the .terraform lock HCL as well. Okay. Now run Terraform init again. So what this is doing now, it is re-downloading your module. Then now run and apply. Yep, it is creating it. There you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Aziz. I really appreciate the help because I was stuck on that for like a week. I'm not even kidding. And I guess just me not spelling it right and then
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing and then like you said it tries to create the old one. I was stuck on that. I just wanted
Exactly.
to have it for like portfolio purposes.
Yeah, sure. I
And
understand.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
run
so
Terraform Destroy.
yeah, run Terraform destroy. So the thing is, two things to note here is just like how we troubleshoot it. If um you are getting something is conflicting with another, check to see whether you've entered the right value or you have a typo somewhere. If you have typo, fix it. But in Terraform module, what happens is when you fix something in your module and you run and apply, Terraform does not, you see that .terraform folder I asked you to delete. If you
Mhm.
select the drop down in there, I want to show you something. You can see in there, it has modules directory. If you select the drop down, you can see that is where it downloads. It pretty much downloads your VPC module and stores it in there.
Okay.
So, so when you are running, after you fix an update in your VPC module and you run Terraform apply again, it doesn't re-download it again. It just use whatever it has already stored in that .terraform module. So that
Okay.
is why if you run into that issue, when you know you fixed your error, just delete that .terraform folder and the .terraform log HCL file, then
Okay.
run Terraform init again. That's what I always do. But there is a Terraform command you can run to tell Terraform to always re-download your module anytime you run an init. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, Aziz. I appreciate the help.
no problem.
I'm gonna check everything on this and then check and then probably upload this to my GitHub.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And last question I asked before you go,
Mhm.
how long do you think before the projects are transitioned into um, a Mac and a Windows?
So it is, I am already updating it as we go. So I've already I just did the first one, which is the regular static website.
Mhm.
That is done. And for the Kubernetes project, I'm about to release that comes with Mac and Windows user. So
Okay.
all that is there. So now that those two are done, I just have to go back. So I'm starting from the WordPress project, then I work my way up to the rest of the project. So I'll say maybe give it a month, about a month, or
Okay.
most of it should be updated. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. No
No,
problem.
thank you. I
All
appreciate it.
right.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye. No. So someone asks if it is necessary to remember the commands. No. So you don't have to memorize any commands. Some of the commands you use, some of the commands you run, you would remember those pretty much by heart because you use them so often. Like, for example, when we change directories, CD, when we ls, things like that. Commands you run on a daily basis, you remember those. But for the ones you don't remember, it's fine. Even some of the basic command that I should remember, I don't remember them sometimes, especially when I don't use them as frequent. So you don't have to remember it. And really, during your interview, really a good interviewer is not going to ask you, what command do you use to do this? I mean, some commands are basic, I understand, and it is a preference whether you remember them or not. But the main thing you want to understand is the concept. And that's at least what I focus on. So if it is not necessary that I remember the commands, it is necessary that I understand where to get the command from. So you don't have to know the commands, memorize the commands, but you have to just understand how to get the commands when you need to run them. So for example, if you are trying to install PHP on your EC2 instance, you most likely would not know the command to do that, but it is important to know where to get those commands. So, which is using the documentations or Google search or using ChatGPT. Yes. So, Roberto, so don't worry about someone asking you, Jeffrey, I've sent you the links. Check your Slack message. I've sent you the Zoom link. Roberto, so don't worry about that interviewer. Some people know how to interview and some people don't. So mm, for me, I'm not a big fan of people trying to judge your intelligence by asking you what you know right now. You know, you only know something until, I mean, you don't, how am I going to say? You only know things you've worked on. And if you haven't worked on something before, you might not know it, but that don't mean that you are not intelligent enough to learn it. So when an interviewer tries to ask you a question based on what they know, it's just not a good way to interview, you know. So there are a lot of things that comes true during interview. There's a lot of things about you that there's a lot of things about you that
something before,
doesn't
but
uh
that don't mean that you are not intelligent enough to learn.
Jeffrey, can
So
you kind of like
you
mute your you
ask you a
Okay.
question based on
yes, thank you. Yeah, so a lot of things there's a lot of things about you that don't come true during your interview. So don't worry about someone asking you to what a command is and you don't know it. It's not really a good practice to interview. What they should be doing is looking at the things you have listed on your resume and using that as at least as a baseline to interview you. Because if you've put something on your resume, then you should be able to explain those things. That is a way to prove that you know what you are doing or you've worked with that service before. So I'll say don't worry about someone asking you a question like that. You know, with interviews, you get both the good and the bad. Okay, sorry, Jeffrey. So let's start. You can uh, share your screen and let me see what you have an issue with. But I think I already know what your issue is and I can easily help you resolve it.
okay, please just hold on while I launch my AWS platform. Give me a
Okay,
second.
sure. Okay. Okay, cool. So how are you doing today?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so this is it. If you want to take the control of you can let me know as well.
No, it's fine. It's something I can walk you through. So the
Okay.
issue you are having with your default VPC is sometimes when, especially in the beginning when you are cleaning up things, there's you may have accidentally deleted some of your subnets in your default VPC. So I'll show you and when you have an issue with your default VPC, I'll show you how to fix it. It is very simple. So in your search bar, type VPC and select VPC under services. Okay. So I can see in your VPC, you only have one VPC and you only have one subnet. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
the subnet is I tried creating it myself
Oh, okay.
after issue.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. So AWS actually, one of the good things they have is if your default VPC is messed up, there's like a one button click that helps you recreate it. So what we are going to do is we would delete your default VPC altogether. So select your VPCs over there on the left side. Yeah, anyway, that's fine too. Then this is your default VPC. Select it by checking that box. Then select the drop down under actions and click delete VPC. Okay. So what is happening here? So I can kind of hear myself. I'm hearing the feedback. So what is happening? What is happening here is that you have EC2 instances running. Excuse. So what's happening is there's an EC2 instance running in your VPC. In order to delete the VPC, we have to delete any resource that is running in there. So go to your EC2. So type EC2 in the search box. Select EC2 under services. And yeah, select instances running. Yeah, sometimes it does help when you minimize. I always do that too. I have a habit of opening like 50 tabs at the same time. So, select your EC2 instance by checking that box. And select instance state and terminate instance. Okay. So click the refresh button. Let's see. Okay, cool. So now let's try to delete your VPC again. Okay. So type VPC in the search box. Yeah, select your VPCs. All right, select that VPC now and action delete VPC. There you go. So you have to click the I acknowledge button and type delete default VPC. Perfect. So the next thing we're going to do, refresh your page at the top, refresh your web browser, good. Then now, while you are in that, your VPC page, so if you select the drop down under actions again, you can see that button creates default VPC. Click it and click create default VPC. And there you go. Your VPC is created. It's as simple as that. So
Thank
now
you,
if you go to your VPC dashboard up there, so select VPC dashboard. Right, you can see now you have one VPC, 6 subnets, and all your route table, everything is set up properly. So just in case if you accidentally delete something in your default VPC, or you feel like it's not working properly, so just follow the same method of what we just did, delete it and use that button to recreate it.
Okay, so I have one question.
Sure.
The network ACLs is set to default, right? And the security groups as well.
Yes,
So
everything is
the internet gateway, a default security group, and default network ACL.
exactly. Yeah, so everything is set back to default. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So if you have any other questions, just send me a message on Slack. Okay, someone said, can I upload in YouTube? Yeah, so this video is on YouTube since I'm going live there. So you guys should be able to find it under my live session. And that's pretty much it for tonight. For those of you that are in my program, if you need help troubleshooting anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Slack. And thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Bye.